If you need legal help pretty much anywhere in the world, you just call a lawyer, right? Well, not so fast. In England, it's a bit of a different story. The legal profession there is famously split right down the middle, and it can be, well, pretty confusing. So today, we're going to untangle this and figure out exactly who does what.
So yeah, you find yourself needing a lawyer in England. Who's the first person you call? It's not as simple as you think because of this split we just talked about. Your first move is actually super important. So, let's break down the two main types of legal pros you're going to come across.
See, instead of having one type of lawyer who does it all, the English system divides all the work between two totally different professionals. You've got solicitors and you've got barristers, and trust me, they have very distinct jobs. Getting a handle on that difference is, well, it's everything.
All right, first up, let's meet player one, the solicitor. The easiest way to think about them, they're kind of like the family doctor or the GP of the legal world.
The solicitor is almost always your first stop. You hire them directly for, well, just about any legal thing you can imagine. We're talking everything from personal stuff to big business deals. You'll usually find them in a law firm, working directly with clients like you and me, day in and day out.
Okay, so that's the solicitor. Now, on the other side of the coin, we've got player two, the barrister. And if the solicitor is your family doctor, the barrister is the specialist surgeon, the expert you call in when things get serious.
Barristers are all about two things: deep legal specialization and being a powerhouse in the courtroom. Now here's the kicker. You typically don't hire a barrister directly. Nope, your solicitor is the one who instructs them. Basically, brings them onto your case when you need that next-level expertise or, a real heavy hitter in court.
Okay, so we've met our two players. Now, let's put them to work, shall we? We're going to play a little game here, a legal sorting game, to figure out who's responsible for what.
All right, check this out. This list here is a perfect jumble of all sorts of legal jobs. You've got everything from making a will to battling it out in court. So let's dive in and sort this out. Which jobs go to the solicitor and which ones are for the barrister? Let's see.
Okay, let's start with some everyday stuff. Say you need to get a will written up, or maybe you're buying a house. That whole complicated process they call conveyancing. Who do you think you're going to call?
Yep, all of these land squarely in the solicitor's column. And it makes sense when you think about it, right? All of these tasks need a ton of direct client contact, mountains of paperwork, and managing transactions. This is classic bread and butter work for a solicitor. They're the ones guiding you through some of life's biggest financial moments.
All right, let's switch gears and head into the business world. What if you need a business contract drafted, or you're managing a big commercial deal? Who's taking care of all that?
You guessed it, that's the solicitor again. They are absolutely the backbone of corporate law. They're the ones running the legal machinery that keeps businesses running smoothly and gets those huge deals over the finish line.
Okay, now things are starting to get a little more tense. We're talking about litigation now, legal disputes. So when a fight is brewing, who's the one giving you that first bit of advice? Who's drafting all the initial court documents?
And this might surprise you, but it's still the solicitor. Long before a barrister even sees the case file, the solicitor is doing all the groundwork. They're advising the client, digging up evidence, putting together the legal arguments. Think of them as the architect of the case, building the entire foundation from scratch.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, okay, so what in the world is left for the barrister to do, right? If the solicitor does all that, when does our specialist finally show up?
Aha! And here's where it all comes together. You can literally see the handoff. The solicitor brings the barrister in for the really tricky stuff, to get an expert opinion on a complex legal point, to help map out the strategy, and to craft the killer arguments for court. The barrister takes that solid foundation built by the solicitor and turns it into a razor-sharp weapon ready for battle.
And really, it all comes down to the single biggest difference between them: who gets to argue in court. Now, solicitors can speak in some of the lower courts, sure, but the barrister owns the courtroom. They have what's called right of audience in every single court in England, right up to the very top, the Supreme Court. They are the elite specialists in courtroom advocacy.
This whole split system has been around for ages, for centuries, and it's even sparked a bit of humor over the years. I love this quote. It's a witty, maybe a little cynical take on the solicitor's job from way back. It just perfectly captures that idea of the solicitor as this master organizer, pulling all the strings for a client who might not have a clue what's going on.
All right, so we've sorted through the jobs, we've seen how they work together. time to wrap this up and deliver the final verdict. Let's lock in those key differences once and for all. So here's the bottom line. The solicitor is your first point of contact, your legal GP who handles the day-to-day. The barrister is the specialist, the expert, who your solicitor calls in for a deep dive opinion or to fight for you in a big courtroom battle. It's that simple, really. One builds the case and the other argues it. Which brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Is this system a brilliant partnership that gives people the absolute best legal firepower, or is it just an old, overly complicated tradition that could be simpler? It's a system that's been at the heart of English justice for hundreds of years, and honestly, people are still debating it.